hacking your pitch counts. Now, I actually published an article in Collegiate Baseball magazine about this. We'll take a photo of that article and we'll put it in here in the download page for you so you can read it. But one of the ways to hack your pitch counts, we understand that it's not the number of pitches that you throw, it's how you get to that total. Okay, we get that, right? I think everybody understands that concept. I certainly have said enough about it over the years that people should have it by now. But one of the things, and the focus of that article was not the pitch counts and how many throw, but how much time did you have to recover between innings? Okay, so think about it like this. Let's say we go into the weight room and I tell you, do 15 curls. Okay, all right, and let's say whatever it is, 50 pounds. And then I say, take 6-7 minutes off, come back, do 15 curls again. Take 6-8 minutes off, come back, do 15 curls again. You would go at that pace for a long time. You'd be able to stay at that pace of 15 curls and with that amount of rest. But let's say I cut that rest in half. Your performance would suffer, and over time, you would go into muscle fatigue. So now let's say we're a pitcher. Right? We understand that, right? Let's say we're a pitcher. Let's say we throw 15, let's make it 20 pitches in the first inning. We throw 20 pitches in the first inning. This marker does no good. Let's get a different one. We throw 20 pitches in inning, that one's no good either. You can't see that one. We've got to get our act together here. All right, this one's good. So in inning number 1, okay? First inning, you throw 20 pitches. Let's say your team goes down 1, 2, 3. You're back out there 6-7 minutes later, and you throw 25 pitches. Well, now you've just messed up your interval time, okay? You've got a short period of recovery. Now let's take the same amount of pitches and let's say that your team scores a couple runs, gets some people on, makes some things happen, and you've got a 13-14 minute break. Now this is a completely different number. Because I got to tell you, if you go 20 pitches in the first inning, your team goes down 1, 2, 3, and you go 25 pitches in the second inning, you're at risk of muscle failure. Your performance is going to start to suffer. So let's go back to the gym, right? So what's going to happen when we get into muscle failure in the gym? If I'm doing curls, right, and all of a sudden I start getting muscle failure, what do I do with curls? I'll bend my knees, I'll arch my back, and I'll get it up. We do the same thing with mechanics. When we get tired, our mechanics fall apart. But the one way to accelerate how tired we get is to minimize the rest in between. So let's say I do those curls, I do 15 curls, put them down, take 3-4 minutes, get up and do 15 curls. I'm going to start to see a change probably in the 20s because my body has not had enough time to recover. It's not the curls, it's not the number of curls, it's that I haven't had enough time to recover from the first set. So, because when we had 6-7 minutes between, that number of curls wasn't a big problem. But when all of a sudden now we don't have that time in between, it does become a problem. So the biggest factor in counting pitches is what goes on between the pitches, the innings, excuse me, what goes on between the innings, and also the pitches. So one of the things that you can do is if your team goes down 1, 2, 3, is to educate your hitters and say, hey, you know, if we make 2 outs real quick, be a little slow going up to the batter's box. Take your time, tap your cleats, look in for some signs, let the coach come talk to you. Buy your pitchers an extra minute or 2. Okay? There's lots of ways to do that. The worst thing you can do is you go down 1, 2, 3, or you got 2 quick outs, and even from an offensive perspective, if you go down 2 outs, like say on like 2 pitches or 3 pitches, the first 2 guys are out, that hitter should go up there trying to make that pitcher work and to try and break the momentum that pitcher has. So you want to make sure that you slow down the pace and that your offense knows this and that your coach knows this too. And if you're a coach watching this, make sure you understand it's not all about the offense, it's also giving your pitcher the recovery time so that when he gets out to the mound, he's fully prepared to do it. Now, the second thing is what we do as pitchers. If you go down 1, 2, 3 and it's real quick, don't sprint out there. The team should know to take a little bit of time getting out there. Tie a shoelace. Call after the catcher throws the ball down, call him out. Have a little discussion. You buying yourself a minute or 2 adds up real quickly. Right? So think about it like this. If the first 2 outs go quick and that extra hitter buys you like an extra minute and a half, 2 minutes then he makes an out, and then you take an extra minute getting out to the mound. That's 3 minutes, right? You take your time in between pitches, get your warm-ups in. Catcher throws down, he comes out to talk to you. You take, he buys yourself another minute. And so if the umpire comes out and says, hey, hurry up, boys, let's go. Okay, so what? But let's not rush. Let's not hurt our performance because we want to keep the tempo of the game going. That's like the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life, right? I want to make sure you're performing at your best. So you can buy yourself 5-6 minutes if you're creative about it, okay? But this does go into a whole team philosophy. The catcher should know that if you haven't had enough time to recover, that he should come out and talk to you, okay? It's just a way of buying you more time. When we talk about exercise, there's no trainer in the world teaching exercise that will burn out their client by not giving them enough recovery time between sets. And they'll tell you that's crucial. That's a mistake. They have to get their clients to slow down to make sure they don't burn themselves out early in an exercise session. So understand, hacking your pitch counts, one of the coolest things you can do is to give yourself that recovery time. And I think if you throw over 15 pitches, you probably need 6 or 7 minutes at the minimum. I think the average time of an inning is like 9 minutes in the big leagues. So if you can get yourself that 9 minutes, I think you're good, or as close as you can to it. But get as much time as you can. I'm not even above, pretending you got something in your eye. I'm not above. Now you can't do that every inning, right? But let's say it's the bottom of the 6th inning, and you're back out there after a short period of rest, and you need to throw this inning well. I think I'll put your health and your performance over slowing up the game a little. I don't think it's a fib. It's not a lie in my opinion. And I'll tell a little bit of fib if it's going to save your arm and maximize your performance. So.